ready. This is going to be exciting.
Here they got a restart zone to go. Green flag is out and we're underway.
Just a few laps into this. Oh, the 37's getting loose. Oh, and he saves it. Oh, they're going 3 wide.
We've got a 5-way fight for the win of this race coming to 4 laps to go. He's gonna win it here in spectacular fashion.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome. It's Tuesday night. Hidden Wit Brewing Company Xfinity Series. And what a treat we have for you tonight as we get into race number 3 of this brand new Lincoln Tech Fall Series. And it has been an amazing week so far. Last week, great racing. This week, same thing. And we're going to continue that here tonight. Old Atlanta. This is not... You know what? This is your dad's Atlanta. You know what? The new one. We're plate racing at that one. Running around wide open. Not this bad boy right here. This is the cheese grater. This is going to chew up every little bit of tire you put on that track. And it is the old version of Atlanta before the repave, before the reconfiguration. And one of the best places to race on iRacing still. And they don't even use it anymore. Take a look at it real quick. Atlanta Motor Speedway, and this is an actual shot of the old version. You can see, hard to see it, but there is just a worn out surface there. Multiple grooves, you've got seams all over the track. It is just one of the best 24-degree banking versus the 28-degree banking that you see now. And man, it's going to provide some good racing. The Xfinity car is perfect for it. I'm your host tonight, Eddie Smith, as always, for the Hidden Wit Brewing Company Xfinity Series and Goat Locker Racing. And I want to thank our amazing sponsors, of course. You got Hidden Wit Brewing Company, the title sponsor of tonight, Lincoln Tech, that we mentioned just a few minutes ago, sponsoring the entire spring series. Of course, got to thank Save 22 as well. Got to talk to John Moser last week, and boy, what an awesome conversation that was. Go to save22.bet, and I've been asking everybody during the podcast, if you didn't watch it, go to @Save22Vet on YouTube and subscribe to their channel, man. If you're a vet, if you know somebody who's a vet, go listen to that Tuesday talk with John Moser and people that he brings on. Just started it back up, and honestly, it's refreshing. It has great perspective, and it's definitely worth a watch. So save22.vet and @Save22Vet on YouTube. Go check them out. Well, what can we talk about this particular race? Well, I've kind of already mentioned it. It is all about taking care of those tires. You want to be, from the drop of the green flag, is you push these cars a little bit too hard, you're going to run into some issues with tires later on. It's just a matter of fact. So it's all going to be about tire management, that old school type of racing that we love. And this track is going to nail it perfectly. That's for sure. Let's take a look at who we got on cam here tonight. We got George Jewell, we got Jake Ellingson, we got Patrick Drabick, and Jamie Lipke there on the bottom left. And for a second there, I thought that was a nose. or maybe like the Rolling Stones logo or something. But I think that's his gamer chair for Mickey Isaac, who is gone. Obviously getting a pee break, a little nose pick there for Jacob Ellingson. They're getting ready to go as qualifying is just about over. And we're going to jump right into the grid. See who's going to start on the front row for the Jam Printing and Promotions Pole Award. Who's that going to go to? Well, come on. No surprise here for anybody. Oh, what's this? I don't like that. Get that off here. What about this? Jamie Barkus going to start on the front row in that Hidden Wit Brewing Company number 15 machine. And you got Charlie Harcum. It's going to start outside of row number 1. Row number 2 is going to be Christopher Morse Jr. coming back here at the Goat Locker, and he has been on fire in the last couple weeks. He's got 2 wins in the ARCA series, and tonight going to try to get another one here, 2 in a row for him. And he is definitely fast enough to get it done. Jacob Ellingson out there on the outside of the second row. As we'll move on to the next row, Andy Kurt's going to start in the 5th position with Michael Kostick there in 6th. And 7th going to be Patrick Dravick with Mark Cofield in that 8th spot. Mark's been doing a great job qualifying here lately, so I want to shout him out. He has been starting up near the front. We'll see if he can finish up there. Chance Taylor in the 9th position with Jonah Colbert there in the 10th position. Daniel Cunningham's going to start in 11th. Levi McCarty going to start in 12th. In 13th, Frederick Seagraves Jr. with Brandon Wallace in that 14th spot. So close to 15th. Not quite. Jamie Lipke in 15th. Zach Horner going to be in 16th spot. 17th going to be Mickey Isaac with Charles Aber in that 18th position. Timothy Stubblefield, Stubb Nation, going to start in 19th. Alex Cruz rounds out your top 20. 21st, Jacob Denson with John Anthony in 22nd. 23rd, Chris Sawyer with Mitchell Connolly in 24th. 25th, Matt Knights with Kevin Price in the 26th spot. George Jewell going to start in 27th with Ryan Pendleton in 28th. 29th is going to be Jeremy Garner with 30th, Cameron Weisenberg. 31st, Zachary Tucker and Gary Cox Jr. in 32nd. In 33rd, Jacob Lemke, and rounding out your field is going to be Doug Ellingson in 34th. Big field tonight, man. These fields have been incredible this season. When you do good things like Goat Locker has been doing, people want to be a part of it, and that's exactly what we got here. Let's take a look at your race analysis real quick. Is 100 laps here tonight. 4 tire sets available. You're going to have to take care of those. You have cautions. You don't want to burn one too early. Fixed setup, and, of course, 55 to 60 laps on fuel. So it is going to be a fun show. It definitely has opportunity to spread out. We'll see how that all plays out, but getting ready to take this thing to the green flag. Jamie Barkus, Charlie Harcum going to be on the outside of the front row. And into the restart zone. Green flag is out here in the Hidden Wit Brewing Company Xfinity Series. Look at these guys fan out all over the track, and that's what you can expect here tonight. That outside line will work, the middle line will work, the bottom will work. Just how much do you want to attack those tires as they cross the start-finish line? Charlie Harcum will lead the way here early, although Barkus now fighting back to the inside. This is why we love the track. You can run side by side for a long time. It looks like Chance Taylor down on the apron. The 14 car had some sort of issue. Cold tires might have got him. And now he's going to fall back through the field, losing spots, down 5, 6, maybe 7, as he's going to lose quite a few spots, but able to keep it together as Barkus now fights back, gets back out front, and he will lead the way. And Ellingson now will jump down to the inside of Harcum and try to grab that second spot, as Harcum going to keep it wound up on the outside. And I'm interested to see who is willing to get up on the outside and make it work. I worry you don't want to do it very early. You want to save that for when you need to pass. That outside line will chew up the tires, but you can be really, really fast. And it depends. If the right front gets really tight, that inside line may not run as well as jumping up to the outside. So we'll see if the line sort of moseys up there around like 15 or 20. or if they run around the bottom majority of the time. So right now, though, Ellingson now looking to jump aboard, try to get in front of that 15 of Jamie Barkus as we go on board with Charlie Harcum on the InVets in-car camera. You can see having to work that throttle, not able to comfortably just jam it. You were definitely not wide open. Draft does play a little factor in this, but not anywhere like New Atlanta. The New Atlanta just has such, 4 degrees more banking, a little bit tighter radius, just a reconfiguration that tries to keep the pack together. Although I think we'll see in a few years that will start to separate, as we see a little separation here between the top 4 drivers. Jamie Barkus back down to Christopher Morse Jr. A little separation back to 5th place Levi McCarty, as it's all about tire saving here. Jamie Barkus doesn't want to pull away. You don't want to go as hard as you can and pull away. You're going to eat the tires up. So there is a definite, you want to qualify up front. That's going to be important. It's definitely in danger of going green flag majority of the way. But you want to be up front like these guys are, but you got to save those tires, but also you don't want to give up too much track position. You don't want to give up 10 spots to try to save tire. You won't be able to get those back. So it is a game of, I might give up a spot to somebody that's pushing a little bit too hard and drop back a couple spots, but you don't want to give up too much. So we'll see what these guys do. You see Levi McCarty way up at the top line of the track, and I think Jonah Colbert is as well, working that outside line early, but it doesn't seem like it's making that much speed. As we'll take a look on here with Levi McCarty. Sort of takes some middle line in 3 and 4. See him 1 and 2. He's actually on the top seam. Got all 4 tires in that top groove. And this hasn't always been the case here in iRacing. There was a long time, a majority of iRacing's life has been very bottom dominant. They just did not have it modeled in to be able to run multiple grooves. And in the last few years is really when they kind of put that in, where the outside line works at some tracks. There are some tracks that are more, outside line, Bristol, Kansas comes to mind immediately, but the changes also kind of brought in an inside line for those tracks. So now you're able to run all over the place, and boy, it has made these races amazing. So much fun to race. You got all the room in the world. You don't drive down to the bottom and just park it there. You can actually use the outside line, and it just makes for some incredible racing. Atlanta, one of the oldest tracks on the circuit. It opened in 1960. For the longest time was the championship race in the NASCAR Winston Cup Series. One of the coldest races I ever been to was in 1995 for that championship race. And right now we've got Jacob Ellingson looking down to the inside of his teammate, trying to take over the lead here early. And he's able to take that spot, and that opened up Jamie Barkus now, who's under fire from now Charlie Harcum. So that side-by-side racing just really slowed him up, and Barkus trying to, he saves it. Oh, my goodness. Disaster almost struck. He was able to save it, but going to lose quite a few more spots as that air got a little bit weird on that left rear quarter panel, as I think the 15 was trying to lay down a little bit extra power. And it almost went around. Let's take a look at that real quick. See, he's going to try to keep Charlie Harcum behind him and just watch the car as it's going to get, whoop. I don't know. There may have been a little bit of contact there, but see if I can find out here. It didn't look like it from the TV cameras. Looks like Barkus just got a little bit loose. We're going to find out right here. Oh, there was a little bit of contact. Man, great job by everybody. Levi McCarty going all the way down to the apron to try to miss that. Incredible. So Barkus going to fall back to 5th. It gives Ellingson a little bit of breathing room, and Levi McCarty was able to get around Christopher Morse there for 3rd place. still running that outside line. It's right around this time that I think the tire wear should start to really make a difference. Around lap 15 to 20, you're going to see some pretty substantial fall off. So I'm excited to see what Levi's car starts to do. As here comes Christopher Morris now to the inside, try to take that position back. Oh, and Levi's going to get in the wall, almost makes contact with Christopher Morris, and Barkas is back there banging off the wall, so you can see already. Yeah, it is, this tire wear is making a massive difference at the moment. Guys' cars are not handling like they want. Of course, Jacob Ellingson's got a fantastic driving car. As he's out front, he's got the clean air and got everything he needs. So, pit strategy is going to be interesting tonight. I think we'll see long green flag runs. Obviously pitting early. Their best laps are low 31s. So like 31 flats, 31 ones. And right now, after 15 laps, they're running 32.4s. So that is a pretty substantial amount of fall-offs. Almost a second and a half over just 15 laps. So when you come down to take tires, could be everything. If you're starting to fade, if you're Jamie Barkas and you start to fade back through the field a little bit, you might come in early to try to gain that advantage. But, if you're Jacob Ellingson, you want to stay out as long as you possibly can because you will go a lap down by coming down pit road. So it's going to be interesting to see if we do get green flag pit stops, how big a difference that's going to make and who makes the right decision. And sometimes it takes a little bit of luck to have a caution not fall. That's why I think that we see a lot of guys running long on these green flag runs just because you can get caught by a caution and that can really ruin your race trying to undercut. So we can go 55 to 60 laps, no fuel limitations here tonight. So I think we'll see guys pretty much go all the way to 50 if we make it that far. So well, going back through the field, we got a couple drivers that have made up a lot of spots. Jacob Denson is one of them. No surprise. I mean, he was up front pretty much the whole season. Last season, though, I think Mickey Isaac got a little bit out of shape. He's able to get it wrangled back up. But Jacob Denson, a championship favorite all last season. Was pretty dominant. Oh, man, as Andy Kurtz and Patrick Drabick make contact behind him. I think that's who that was. No, I think it was big checkup back here as I'm trying to find it, but somebody made contact in a white. I think that was Charles Abert that made that contact that got out of shape. Gotta go back and see if we can find that. That might be worth taking a look at real quick because we got a big old cluster. Yeah, Charles Abert kind of go back right a little bit more as we check out this replay, but I think he made a little bit of contact. That was right behind Jacob Denson here. That's Brandon Wallace in that black Camaro. Yeah, Abert comes up. Comes back up on the track is, wow, great job by everybody avoiding that. That could have easily been a wreck, but great heads-up driving by some folks as that could have been a massive, massive wreck. But right now, though, it is a massive cluster of cars back here. I was trying to give Jacob Denson his flowers, but they got the racing back here. But Jacob Denson, definitely a championship favorite. He is already up 7 spots, and then you go right behind him. You got the 69 of Jeremy Gardner, who I think really excels in races like this, so I expect to see him to continue that march up to the front. Started all the way in the back and now is up to 15th. You got George Jewell right behind him in that 36 machine. He is up 11 spots from where he started. And then Ryan Pendleton right behind him in that number 23 Nasty's Ford Mustang. He has made up 11 spots as well. So guys moving up through the field, making a lot of moves. Levi McCarty, another one of those who is up 8 spots from where he started. So guys, taking advantage of these tires, starting to fade a little bit. But up front, though, it is Jacob Ellingson who's got the lead for now. The battle is going to be for second. Is now here comes Christopher Morris down to the inside, trying to peek, trying to get that spot. Eking down to the inside, that outside run off the corner pretty fast. You can see they're entering in high, just driving down on exits. Ellingson going all the way down to the bottom, whereas Harcum sort of exiting on that outside line. Morse looks like he is a little bit quicker at the moment. Just dirty air is going to play a pretty big factor now that the tires have worn a little bit. So it's, Jacob Ellingson doesn't have to try near as hard. He doesn't have to put as much pressure on his tires. He's got all the downforce on the front end of his car, but the wake that he leaves behind him is dirty air, and that makes the cars not drive good behind you. He gets tighter. Tight is already something that these guys are dealing with. So being out front is a huge advantage. And you can see the 81 kind of got to the back bumper of the 28, but just cannot find a way around him. Now he's going to enter in a little bit higher on the outside line, then try to get a little bit of clean air on that nose, get a better run off the corner. He might actually get up there. No, Harcum going to jump up, throw the block. So Morris going to go down to the inside here in 3 and 4. Going to use a little bit of that side draft on entry, drives it deep in the corner. We'll see if he can clear him. He looks like he's got him cleared. Down to the bottom. Christopher Morse takes over second place. As back here for 4th and 5th, Marcus back on the charge after that near miss where he made contact with, where Harcum made contact with him, and great save. Now trying to move back forward. Still see some drivers back here using that outside line. Andy Kurtz, no slouch at a track like this, although he has fallen back 3 spots. And Jonah Colbert in that Red Bull number 31 machine, he has been up 3 spots, has moved up 3 spots. And then you got last season champion Patrick Drabick right behind him, as this is a battle for 7th, 8th, and 9th. Jonah Colbert right up against that wall. All right, well, I am still here, just checking a couple things. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's on my end at all. Everything else is working fine, so it's probably just some sort of issue through Restream or maybe YouTube. So, guys, we'll just have to weather the storm. I see what's going on. No need to let me know. But if I can do something to solve it, I will. But it looks like at the moment we're just going to have to weather the storm, and that's all we can do. So we'll keep going, talk about the action, and hope that it clears up. Maybe it was just a one-time thing. Now, we did have Christopher Morris go up and take the lead here. Like I said, I do apologize for that, but like I said, I don't think it's on my end at all. Made a couple tests here, and everything looks to be good to go. So if he keeps doing it, we'll just have to make it through it. That's all we can do. But Morse saving those tires, and it's starting to play out here perfectly for him. Lap 35. We've got about 15 laps to go before I think we'll see folks coming down pit road. And I don't think we'll see anybody come in before that. Now, they are off the pace about 2 seconds. So if you did decide to come down pit road, yes, it's possible to split this race into thirds. I would love to see someone try it. We've had a couple folks come down pit road. Frederick Seagraves Jr. has come down pit road, taking that 09 down and gotten 4 tires and fuel. So those guys did come down and do that. I'm just not quite sure that's going to play out the way that they want. They've got to fight through this traffic. You can kind of see, look at the tire difference here. He's got brand new tires, and oh my goodness, almost makes contact there with Kevin Price. But trying to make up a ton of time, like, why would you do this? That's the question. A, it's fun because you're passing a bunch of cars really quickly, but it's also a good strategy if the time difference is enough. If we keep falling off right now in the low 33s for your leaders, Frederick Seagrave is going to be running around the low 31s. And if you can make up enough time and stop twice, that it just depends on if you drop off. Normally it would take, I would say, about 3 seconds of fall off for it to really pay off, and a shorter track maybe. I think this track is a little bit too long for this strategy to work, because you've got to make up 2 pit stops worth of time on tires. And I just don't know if you can. But we're going to find out from Frederick. Also, it looks like Zach Horner, Doug Ellingson, and Gary Cox Jr. all came down pit road. So I don't know if that's just a comfort thing. They just felt like their tires were too bad, or an actual strategy. But we'll see. I still think the one-stop strategy, if we stay green all the way to the end, is the right play. But we'll see what Frederick ends up after it's all said and done. Christopher Moore starting to pull away just ever so slightly as he is starting to get up to some lap traffic. And now Harcum now starting to close in on Ellingson. So Ellingson might have pushed a little bit too hard here and starting to see his tires fade away. I'm actually impressed to see Levi McCarty there in that fourth position. He ran that outside line for so long that I thought he would start to struggle. But, I feel like I always underestimate Levi McCarty and his abilities. He is super fast. You can see he's actually driving it really deep into the corner. And here comes Charlie Harcum down to the inside to try to take over that second spot. Battle for second here on lap 40. Still have 60 laps to go as we start to close in on pit stops. It looks like the stream is calmed down for now, but doesn't mean we're out of the water. So, but we'll motor on. Looks like everything is running good now, though, right at the moment. So, not really sure what happened there. Well, let's go back here. Let me get focused back in. I'm just a one-man show here, so trying to troubleshoot during the race, it kind of throws me off a little bit, and I missed some parts of the race. But right now we got Patrick Dravitt. He started in 7th, been saving his tires a little bit, I think, and has started to run down his teammate. Now they got sort of a cluster here with Michael Kostick getting past, and now here comes Daniel Cunningham. And, I'll tell you what, there's a lot of really nice cars in here. When Jonah Colbert comes back, and he didn't paint all these, so I'm not giving him credit for other people's work, but it seems like whenever Jonah Colbert comes back into the series, his paint prowess really makes everybody up their game, because this ghost scheme right here from the 91 of Daniel Cunningham is pretty good. His ghost schemes have been really, really good. The ghost energy drinks. He's going to hate to hear me say this, but I've tried a couple of them. They're pretty awful. But they make really good paint schemes. Of course, that's just my opinion. But, man, great scheme there. I love the green. Usually green on a race car is bad luck. But right now it's looking like it's good luck. Up 3 spots inside the top 10 and starting to run down Michael Kostick here for that 7th position. And then right behind him is Jonah Colbert with that Red Bull scheme. And I tell you, it's crazy when somebody is good at it and when somebody is just doing their best, when somebody's good at it. And Jonah's been doing it for a long time. If you raced NASCAR 2003 and you raced a car set from a couple different or NASCAR Heat, and you raced car sets from that time period around early 2000s, you probably drove a car set that he painted at one point or another. Just incredible. His eyes for paint schemes are pretty unmatched, and he's one of the few folks that I can say, here's the logo, here's the here's the logo, here is the colors, and he'll put together something that looks just amazing. So, but a lot of good paint schemes here tonight as well. Man, look at this cluster of drivers. My goodness, it is Jamie Barkus is going to have his hands full in just a couple laps. I know he is ready to get to lap 50. I feel like the Goat Locker guys are always going down pit road right in the middle of these tire runs. And, I wouldn't be surprised to see Jamie Barkus come down as soon as freaking possible, because he is just getting eaten alive. His teammate goes around. He's obviously not going to make it easy on anybody else. He's going to let his teammate through, but you can see they're all lined up behind him. And how this? Green flag all the way, 46 laps, no caution yet here tonight. So far, the cleanest race of all the races in all the series so far. Now, it could all change very quickly, but this is the beauty of old Atlanta. This is the beauty of having a track where you have to pedal it. You have, I mean, almost 4 or 5 lanes if you need them. They all kind of work. You can see guys can run in big packs like this. It's not drafting for sure. As you can see, Marcus is sort of holding this little group up. And he's dropping it like a rock. Well, I would come down pit road almost as soon as I possibly can for him. And right behind him, Andy Pertz. Andy Pertz and Ryan Kendleton almost make contact. They did make contact, and man, Andy Pertz got real loose there and had to save it. Great job by both those drivers. Man, that was scary. Holy cow. Oh, here they coming down pit road, and Jonah Colbert coming right down pit road behind Barkis. Holy cow. I don't know if they meant to do it like that, but that's exactly what they did. Is here they come down on lap 48, and that will open the window. I'm sure we'll see everybody come down pit road now. Let's take a look at that replay. I want to see Jonah coming down pit road on board with the 31 here. Is Barkis going to come down pit road as well? Man, that is about as good as you could do it by both those drivers. Golly, that could have been disastrous. But here we go. Pit road going to be wide open as here comes Jonah Colbert out of pit road. Going to actually drive by Barkis here at a much better on and off pit road. Barkis had the quicker stop, but Jonah able to get by him as everybody else sort of towards the mid-pack are coming down pit road. You've got Mark Cofield, you got Jacob Denson, Chris Sawyer, George Jewell, all coming down pit road to get their service along with John Anthony and others. So when will the leader come down pit road? As he is under fire from Charlie Harcum. Man, Harcum coming alive here at the end of this tire run. He has done a fantastic job and has run down the 81. We'll see what they decide to do as far as coming down pit road. I think if you're passing cars and you're doing well, you want to stay out as long as you can. But Charlie Harcum jumps off the track, going to come down pit road. Levi McCarty is going to follow him along with, looks like Patrick Dravick comes down pit road. Zachary Tucker in the number 1 machine is going to come down as well. So pit road. Now the leader's going to start making their stops. And under green flag, it's always nervous because all it takes is one caution, one wreck, somebody on fresh tires coming out, spinning out, and bringing out the caution. And if you go a lap down, it can be very frustrating. But here comes your leader, Christopher Morse. Brings that 81 down to the 50-mile-an-hour speed limit. There comes Daniel Cunningham, who has to get on the brakes a little bit. And so what I want to see is what we talked about earlier, Frederick Seagraves. He is going to have about 18 laps on these fresh tires, and we'll see where he cycles out. That'll be interesting to see. He's going to be ahead of Charlie Harcum, and he's going to be ahead of Jonah Colbert as well. So right now he's able to jump up, and if they don't catch him quickly, he will be in the lead. So now they will eat him alive pretty quickly, but where does he fall to? And, if he gets a caution once everybody else comes down pit road, it could be a pretty good strategy. So there's a lot at play here. I don't think it's going to be a winning strategy. But you can see he's driving right around the leader. He's going to unlap himself, so that's huge. So strategy call for Frederick Seagraves. While he's going to lose a bunch of spots before he's going to eventually have to make another stop. If he gets a caution here in the next few laps, it could actually be a major, major improvement for him. So Jacob Ellington's still out on the track, though. Going to maybe try to run it to the very end of this fuel run and give himself 40 laps. You can see the tire difference right there as Ellington running almost 34-second lap times. These guys running 31s and just driving right on by him. So I like the call. I love running long. I think it's a great call, especially if you're fast. Jacob Ellington wasn't the fastest on the long run, but he can run here for a while. And when he comes down pit road, he can just haul the mail. That dirty air won't be a problem for him because he'll have much fresher tires. He'll be able to just blast right through that dirty air. with those fresh tires. So I like the call here. Stay out. Jeremy Garner, who's right behind him, that is a pass for position if Garner gets down to the inside. So, yeah. I like these strategy calls. People coming in early, some folks staying out later. Ellingson going to go as long as he possibly can, as we do have a pass for the lead. Jeremy Garner, I mean, a very ginger pass for the lead. That didn't seem like a racing type thing. Is Garner going to get into the wall? That's going to bring Ellingson right back to him. As man, Michael Kostick is joining this battle as well. So these guys who are staying out still racing. Kostick going to jump to the outside of Ellingson, as he is one of the ones who started. He got out front, then kind of burned him up a little bit, started to fall back. So surprised to see him still on the track, as here they come. Ellingson and Jeremy Garner are going to come down pit road and going to make their stop here on lap 57. As far as the guys who have pitted, Charlie Harcum came out with the inevitable lead. As we watch Jeremy Garner down on pit road. A little update for Jacob Linke. He had a speeding penalty coming down pit road, so he had to stay in his box for an extra 40 seconds. That's tough. You don't want to see that happen, as Jeremy Garner has to... I don't even know who that is. Stubblefield there. I had to dodge him coming out of pit road. So these two will exit, and that will give the lead over to Andy Kurtz. Michael Kostick has come down pit road as well. Still waiting on this 48 machine to make the call to come down pit road. And then we will have officially had a green flag cycle under green flag. Well, that's why they call it under green flag conditions. No yellow flags. As here comes Andy Kurtz now. Those old tires do not want to come down to a 50 miles an hour off this track. But here we go. Andy Kurtz comes down pit road. 4 tires of fuel going to obviously be the call. And he is going to be able to haul the mail when he comes out. Coming off of turn 4 is Charlie Harcum, who did assume the lead. Levi McCarty, though, 0.8 of a second back from the lead. And Jonah Colbert had a great cycle as well. He's up to 3rd. He did come down at the same time as Barkus. As I'm saying this, he is currently getting passed by these fresh tires. 4-lap difference here on tires for Jonah, Morris, Patrick Drabick, and Barkus. Barkus on the same tires as Jonah. So the 07 and 81 making up the difference from their stop, and now move forward, try to run down these leaders. Here's from Morris, who had been out front, saved really well there. He is now 2.7 seconds back from Charlie Harcum. So Harcum, unbelievable pit road performance. And you think, well, they just get down to 50 miles an hour and they have to follow the speed limit, go in pit road and come out. What can they really do? Charlie Harcum was on pit road for 38.2 seconds, pit lane. From start when he entered pit lane to the time that he exited, 38.2. Christopher Morris, 39.1. So Morris lost a whole second on pit lane from start to finish. Now, his pit stop was about 0.6 slower, so that definitely contributed. And if you don't know, it's all a roll of the dice. People say there is how you get in the pit box, all that kind of stuff may affect your time, windshield tear off. I feel like those are conspiracy theories. I've never heard of that. I've never seen that written down. But if that is true, you got to get solidly in your box, trying to, those little bit of small changes. If you're, cock sideways in your box, maybe your pit crew can't get over there as quickly as they would if you were straight. I don't know if iRacing models that. I think it's just a roll of the dice. It says when you come down pit road, are you going to have a 13.5 second stop, or are you going to have a 14.3? It just rolls the dice, and that's what you get. So not much that Morse can do there. Harcum just had the best of both worlds. Just unbelievable. 14.1 second in the box. The only person that was better on pit lane or just as good was Patrick Drabick, who's also 38.2. And that's why he's running right behind Christopher Morse Jr. here in that 4th position. So it makes a huge difference under green flag that you come down pit road and you are as efficient as you possibly can. You got to push that speed limit all the way to the very maximum or you're going to lose a lot of time. So, well, Frederick Seagraves Jr. comes down for his second stop, and this is why the strategy is just not going to work. He is now 3 laps down, so he's going to have to unlap himself 2 times, which he's right behind the leader, so he will be able to do that pretty quickly and get out to 2 laps down. But then he's got to go around one more time. It's just not enough time, so strategy's not going to work out. I love that he tried it though, but just not going to work here tonight, I don't think. So, well, watching Charlie Harcum here, he's got a 0.6 second lead over Levi McCarty. And then you got to go just a little bit further back. Christopher Morse Jr. dealing with some lap traffic. That's the 57 of John Anthony, who is a lap down now. And then we'll go back here to Jacob Ellingson, who's looking to the inside of George Jewell. Battle for 11th. Ellingson stayed out. Him and Garner stayed out longer than anybody, so they're going to be able to really drive up through the field. But he is currently 11.5 seconds back from the leader of Charlie Harcum. That's going to be a lot. 35 laps, 34 laps is still a lot. There's still a lot of time. Anything can happen, but he's really going to have to hammer down. He cannot play around. He's got to get through these older tires quickly. He's got to be efficient. You don't want to lift. You see, he's trying to get a good run off the corner here and time it just perfectly to get around the one of Zachary Tucker. It's not for position, but that's so important. You know, any newer driver out there, you want to see how it's done. This is exactly what you have to do. You don't want to have to check up for anybody. So you have to time it. Time it perfectly where you get the run off the corner. You don't have to lift, and you keep that momentum going. Ellingson starting to creep in on his teammate here of Ryan Pendleton in that 23 machine, trying to crack back into the top 10. But incredible. Look at this race recap: 0 cautions, 8 lead changes, and we have just a little bit over 30 laps to go. We might see in our first flag-to-flag green flag race of the season. And it always seems to happen here in the Xfinity Series. I don't know what it is about this series, but it always seems to do it. I know the track's a big part of that, but we still have 33 drivers on track out of the 34 that started. Just a fantastic job. Love to see that. Love to see the momentum as the season goes on. The races get better and better. Guys start to learn who they can race with, who they have to give a little bit more room, get used to each other. And makes a big difference. Got a nice battle back here for the 15th position. Andy Kurtz going down to the inside of Mitchell Connolly. Little tire difference of about 8 laps there. Andy Kurtz able to make that pass, and we'll go back up front as Levi McCarty just trying to manage that distance. Is now here comes Christopher Morse right behind him, going to try to run down Charlie Harcum, who's still got that 0.8 of a second advantage. I don't know who that is. I can't really see that car. Might be Brandon Wallace, who is 1 lap down, but it is. I'll tell you what, we've got some amazing sponsors here in this series. Normally we wait for the yellow flags, but got sort of a lull in the action. Let's go thank our sponsors, and we'll be right back to see who's going to take home the checkered flag. We'll be right back.
thriving job market and low cost of living, plus a wide range of veteran benefits, make Indiana the perfect place for veterans of the United States military to call home. InVets can help you find that home. We're an organization started by veterans to help former service members transition to civilian life in our state. InVets can help you find the community with the career opportunities, housing, schools, and amenities that fit your lifestyle. To learn more about InVets, visit us at invets.org today.
All right, well, we are back here at Atlanta here on V-Speed, and we got to thank our amazing sponsor. Of course, the title sponsor of this series is the Hidden Wit Brewing Company. The Hidden Wit Brewing Company was born from the desire to help you find a little escape from the outside world as, oh my goodness, caution is out. Caution out on the speedway. And I think Charlie Harcum, or no, it was Doug Ellingson, that brings out the caution. I can see a little bit of damage there, and boy, we didn't even get through the sponsor read before the caution came out. And let's see if we can find out what happened here to Doug. Already spun out here as, oh my goodness, he wrecked for quite a while, it looks like. Checking out here. Oh, and he just comes up right in front of the 14. Chance Taylor. Not much Chance can do. That's such a bummer right there for Doug, but just comes up into Chance Taylor, makes contact, and that brings out our only caution of the night. And we got pit road wide open, of course. Going to come down for those tires for sure. Yeah, commentator curse for sure. I kept talking about cautions, and dadgummit, we got one. Watch the battle off pit road. I don't know who got it there. It's close, but it looks like maybe Christopher Morse won the battle off pit road. That time he had a great pit lane, and he is going to do it. He comes out with the lead. And I know it looks a little weird, cars going inside of each other. iRacing makes it where the cars don't clip on pit road just to avoid any kind of just disasters trying to get in pit boxes and stuff. I can't tell if I love that or not. I kind of would like the ability to have that skill of getting in and out of your pit box without running over people, but it's been that way forever. So if you see them clip inside of each other until they actually get off of out of the pit lane onto the actual pit road itself or exiting pit road, their cars, they can just kind of drop through each other. But Christopher Morse is going to win the battle off pit road and going to put Charlie Harcum in second place, Patches Drapick in third, Levi McCarty and Jonah Colbert. So those guys who came in early actually going to benefit here. Folks like Jacob Ellingson, that really kind of stinks for their strategy. Jeremy Garner as well, maybe. But everybody now on equal footing here on lap 77 to 100. Let's give our, make sure we give our our partners their love. Hidden Wit Brewing Company was born from the desire to help you find a little escape from the world outside our doors. Their focus from the beginning has always been to craft drinkable beers you love to enjoy. Their majority veteran owned and the title sponsor of this series right here, the Hidden Wit Brewing Xfinity Series. I want to thank them. Of course, I want to thank Lincoln Tech and Save 22 along with Jam Printing and Promotions and all of the other sponsors that make this thing go around. Well, here we go. Getting ready on this restart. This is big. We saw how important that that clean air was early in this race. You're going to have to save a little bit, but I don't know how much you're going to have to save. Green flag is out here. Just a little bit over 20 laps to go. Great start for Patches Drapick. Right behind the leader is where you want to be. And he's going to try to clear Harcum, but he is not going to be able to do it. Harcum with the run off the outside line is going to hold on to it for now. But here comes the 07 down to the inside to try to take over the lead. But Morris pushes up a little bit in the middle as they gas it up. Still on cold tires. Tough to make those tires stick. But Drapick able to get up to second is now Harcum. Goes on the attack to try to take that position back with Levi McCarty all the way up on the outside, trying to get the momentum up. Harcum's going to slide up in front of him. McCarty has to check up. Christopher Morse laying down some lap times here as he is trying to pull away, and these guys side by side for second is exactly what he wants to see. This is awkward enough where you have to save a little bit of tires, but you have to push. You can't give up that track position. It's even more important that you don't give up those spots, so you have to fight here. Normally, early in the race, you would let them go and say, well, you go ahead and take it, but not here. You cannot give up a spot. You have to save tire, and then you start to get under attack like Patrick Drabick is here. You have to fight for it, and then once you get done fighting for it, back out of it is Charlie Harcum in the wall, and that's going to open the door for now Levi McCarty and also Jeremy Gardner in that 69 machine. So, wow, that caution, not what Charlie Harcum. He had about a second advantage out front before the caution. Now is trying to fight and hold on for that fourth position. Here comes Levi McCarty to the inside of the 07. The 07 been doing a good job of holding off other cars, but Levi has been one of the faster ones tonight. I don't think we've just seen exactly what he can do just yet, and I think it's time to turn it on. It's a great run through 1 and 2, but Drabick going to hold on to that outside line as they come together, make contact here. On board with Jeremy Garner as he watches this battle for second. Trying to keep that 81 machine from getting away. And it is racing all over the track. Go back here to 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. You see Ryan Pendleton driving to the inside of Denson. Just a big gaggle of cars back here fighting for every inch. As here comes Harcum down to the inside. Here comes Ryan Pendleton now trying to get to that spot. Going to try to slide up in front of the 79, but he is not quite there. The 79 going to lean on Pendleton's door. Try to maintain that advantage on the outside, but Pendleton gets a great run down the front stretch, and he might be able to clear him here into 1 and 2, and he does. Man, drives it deep into the corner, going to slide up. Denson going to go back down to the inside. Denson going to have a run, but I think that Pendleton now has the line advantage here, and Denson actually just goes ahead and gives him that spot. And up front, it looks like it's close, but I'm going to tell you right now, these guys are all driving on the razor's edge. It is going to be tough for Drabick to get up here and pass this 81 machine. He's really hoping that the 81's pushing a little bit too hard, makes a small mistake, loses a little bit of momentum. There's only half a second between first and fourth, but that's still a lot because you have to pass the guy. If they were all ghost cars could drive through each other, it may matter, but you've got to make the pass here. You've got to get to the driver in front of you and then make the pass, and we've seen that be very, very difficult. See a big run from the 18 off the outside. Still couldn't generate enough momentum to get even to the back bumper of the 07, and actually going to lose a little bit of time down the front straightaway. But by the time we get to the end of this race, if we stay green, the tire management, we're going to find out who's doing the best job at it. As right now, man, Patrick Drabick all over the back bumper of the 81. On board with the 07 tries to work him over. This is the fun part about oval racing. This is why I love it, is because right now, Dravic, he only has about a 10th back to Levi McCarty, so he doesn't have just so focused on the 81. He's got to be considering so many things. Who's behind him? What's Levi going to do? Trying to keep up with the 81. Also dodge some lap traffic here as they go by the 68 of Garrett Cox Jr. But he's got 11 laps here to figure out how he can get around the 81 here. It doesn't happen quickly. You got to really work at it. Right now, Dravic seems like he's focused. He's locked in. Going to have a little bit of breathing room here as the 18 and 69 go side by side for third place. That should give Patrick a little bit more breathing room as Garner trying to get up here into the mix, but you can see how difficult it is to make those passes. Able to get down to the inside, just not able to hold it. Now the 18 gets a massive run, and I don't think Dravic got a great drive through the corner. And Levi's going to get to the inside, and you see the 69 of Jeremy Garner trying to fill that gap, as Levi may not be able to complete this pass. We'll see if he can. Right now, it doesn't look like it. Oh, he's going to drift up into it, makes contact, and they save it again. Incredible. Here comes Jacob Ellingson making it 3 wide, says, yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Goes down to the inside. He's not going to clear the 18 of Levi McCarty, but he's able to take over. We'll see. He might try. He is going to try it. He does. Take the third position, taking advantage of that contact, making it 3 wide. What a move for the 27. Now he's looking for more. Gardner now to the inside of Ellingson as he gets a run on the 27. Right now, it looks like it's going to be a battle for second as Christopher Morris just pulls away here. Now out to a 0.7 of a second lead as they continue to fight behind him. You know, even if you don't win a race like this, it almost doesn't matter. It's just so much fun to drive here. It's so much fun to race these cars. You get these great side-by-side battles. What a blast this track is. With Charlie Harcum probably kicking himself after I don't really know if he's kicking himself. That caution just ill-timed. He had the lead. He had the race won. I don't know if anybody was going to catch him. He's been fast all night long. He's been good on the long run. That caution just could not have been the worst time for that. And then to have pit road kind of where you lose 3 or 4 spots. And I know Charlie not going to be too thrilled about the way that this last 30 laps has gone for him as he doesn't make the pass on Levi McCarty, though. Going to take over the 5th position. He's got 1.3 seconds to get up front, but Christopher Morse, I just don't know if anybody's got anything for that number 81 machine. He has been on fire. Currently has 2 wins in the ARCA series. Looking to get his first win here in the Hidden Whip Brewing Company Xfinity Series. So far, Dravic and Tanner Bethea have been your 2 winners, so we're looking for a 3rd different winner. But right now, 5 laps to go. We're all thinking about, what is this 07? What's he got? Last 2 laps, he's been a 10th and 2/10 faster. Starting to put the heat on is the 07. And now's the time. I mean, you ain't got any time to save tire. All the saving you needed to do should have been done 20 laps ago. Now you got to go for broke. And you can see he's really pushing the issue here. Runs down Christopher Morse. He's within 0.2 of a second, making up good amount of time, showing why he's the champ. This is the guy you got to beat if you're going to get up there and win this championship, win these races. Drabick didn't get his win till the very end of the season last year. And now he's going to make a move here as he got lap traffic ahead. Will that be a factor? Which way do you go? Where does the lap traffic go? The traffic taking the 81 spot. Oh, he's going to get up into the wall. That's Frederick Seagraves. Everybody able to get around him, and Jacob Ellingson gets a massive run in this. I mean, where I thought Drabick was going to be sort of the only guy to make up something here to try to get this win. We're going to have a 3-car battle. But they do not have any time at all as we got some more lap traffic as we're going to get up here to take the white flag coming out of 4. One more lap to go. We got a lap car in the way. We got some guys going off track, but it's not going to matter. White flag is out. One more lap to go, and they check up. Oh, and the leader, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, contact, lap cars. Wrecking in front of the leaders. Christopher Morris goes around. They're still wrecking. What are they doing? Jeremy Garner wrecks. Jacob Ellingson wrecks. Jonah Culvert's through. White flag is out. Coming out of turn 4, there's still cars wrecking all over the track. But coming off of turn 4, Jonah Colbert will survive, and he will win here in Atlanta. Holy cow. What in the world? Oh my God. Well, we're going to have to go back and take some time to really go through all of that. So much happened there. That was unbelievable. You see contact there from Ryan Pendleton, who comes home in second. Patrick Drabick's going to come home in third. But I am speechless. Unbelievable. We're going to watch the burnouts here for Jonah Colbert, who gets the win. Unbelievable. Jonah Colbert going to burn them down on the front stretch. He is your winner here tonight in Atlanta. And yes, we're going to go back and check all this stuff out. There's a lot going on here. We're going to have to spend some time to find all the wrecks that were happening. But there he is, burns it down in that Red Bull 31 machine, gets the win. Just unbelievable. Well, let's go back. Oh my gosh. Let's go back and we're going to start. Oh my goodness. And it's already started back here. And I think it started maybe with Gary Cox, who's up here. Gary Cox gets into the wall and it's just bouncing it off the wall here in turn 4. Drives through the grass here. And at this point, I think everything is still fine. Yeah. So Gary Cox was so it looks like everybody kind of checking up because Gary was going through the through the grass there. And you can see Matt Knights kind of check up, and that's the 25 of Zach Horner, the 81 of Mickey Isaac, and the 10 of Mitchell Conley. And they're all just kind of get jumbled up here. The 25's just going to drive into the 64. He overcorrects into Mickey Isaac. They all make contact. Oh, and Mickey Isaac slides up in front as the 80 is going to make contact. What in the world? The 80 obviously sees the wrecking going on up in front of him. And he's checking up for the wreck. There's a leader, and he's trying to miss it. Pushes Christopher Morse right into the wreck. And then Drabick makes contact. We're going to back it up a little bit more as I'm trying to find Ellingson. I can't find him on the damn track. Jacob Ellingson finished 24th after that. So after all that happened, Ellingson and Gardner are now in the catbird seat for the win. Watch this as they all make contact with the leader, Chris Morris. The 27 makes it through. And then he's going to the outside, and then the 27 makes contact with that. And then Garner makes contact, and I'm speechless. What happened here? Who is that? The 68 of Gary Cox Jr., where this all kind of started, kind of pulls up in front of, unreal. I'm still trying to break everything down. I know we want to talk to the winners and stuff, but, just watch as Gary Cox is going to come off the bottom, and the 27's expecting to have room, has to check up. Still, 27's trying to go. He's trying to win the race. It's the white flag. I don't blame him one bit for trying to bump him. There's nowhere for 27 to go, and then Garner just makes contact with him, and they both wreck. And then Jonah Colbert, watch on board with him as this all going down. We're going to watch the leader's perspective. You can see everything's happening. It's the white flag. He is checking up, doing a good job, but he's hammered down here. Keeps the momentum up. He's passing Morris. He's passing Pendleton. And then those two wreck right in front of him, and he goes past Patrick Drabick. And that was for the lead. That was for the win. And Jonah Colbert drives through the wreck. He's going to get the race win. And here's the battle for second as the 23 just had the momentum. The 07 couldn't get it. And there is your top three finishers. Oh, my goodness. Well, you know what? I'm going to blame myself, I guess, because I talked about how great of a race that was and how clean it was, only for it to just become a disaster on the white flag lap. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I have no words. I tried to break it down. I've tried to break it down for y'all. That's the best I got. That is a lot that went on there. So many dominoes that fell that caused that. And what a disaster. But not a disaster for one driver. And we're going to get him in here and talk to him. And I'm going to bring him in right now. And holy cow, we just watched the onboard of Jonah Colbert driving through that. And Cole, when you just keep the gas down,
keep your foot on it, Cole.
You can drive through it.
Wow.
Holy cow.
I'll be honest with you. I didn't even know I won until I crossed the finish line. I had no idea where anybody was. And I was scrambling trying to get my standings box up and see where I finished. And then it took about 15 seconds to update. I'm like, I'm waiting. And all of a sudden it said first. And I was like, woo, let's go.
I ain't never seen anything like that. That was
I've never gone from ninth to first in one corner except for at like Daytona or Talladega. So, oh man, what a crazy ending.
Yeah, Atlanta known for chewing up tires. And of course, you started in 10th position. Qualifying just going to be super important. And we stayed green for a whole fuel run and then some. Talk a little bit about that. We'll kind of bring it all back. We'll talk about the ending in a moment, but starting in 10th, trying to be careful with the tires. What did you see out there? Were you able to abuse them at all, or did you really have to be careful? What was it like just trying to run this cheese grater of a track?
I'm not the one to ask, honestly. I was never really fast. I tried running the high side a little bit early. I couldn't really pass up there unless someone set a pick for you so you get your nose in there. But yeah, I couldn't save tire. I tried saving tire. It didn't really seem to work. I tried chewing them up. That didn't really seem to work. It felt like everybody was just kind of on the same worn out tire, no matter how hard you ran it. So I don't know. I never really figured it out. That's probably why I was running ninth on the last lap. So I'm not the one to ask.
Well, we had the green flag racing all the way to about lap 75-ish or so. And so it kind of played out just a long green flag run. Those are always nice. And you had that caution at the end. You come down and get tires. What was the plan there? You were kind of running in the top 5 at that point. When you came out of pit road, I do believe. Walk me through that last little run before all the miss.
Yeah, came out 5th out of the pits. It just, kind of lucked out with how everybody did their pit strategy. Some of us pitted early, some ran it all the way out of fuel. So when the caution came out, I'm sitting there fifth, and I decided I was going to try to save a little bit of tire for about 5 or 10 laps and then run the high side. And then I just got loose and fell back to ninth, and I never could recover because it was really, really hard to pass. It drove like a dump truck, except for like the first lap it'd be loose, and after that was just a dump truck the rest of the race. So there was pretty much no passing unless there was just a big tire difference. And then, I'm just back there riding, and then all of a sudden I see smoke, and I just put my foot in it, man.
Well, you did check up. I'll give you some credit. You didn't drive through it. You definitely checked up, was smart about it. You jumped up to that outside line and just you saw nothing. You saw nothing in front of you and just gassed it up, and you were just driving by guys as they were having to check up, and then just a crazy sequence of events that happened. I mean, there was probably 5 wrecks that happened from right in front of the leader to the next leaders, and then you were able to get by Pat there as they were all wrecking down the back straightaway. I can't believe it. I need to go back and watch it about 5 or 6 times to really get the full scope of it, but just unbelievable.
I'm going to have to go back and watch that replay. I'll be honest with you, I wasn't even trying to win at that point. I was just trying to keep my car clean. So the fact that I won, that's crazy. Whatever, I'll take it.
Heck yeah. I mean, that's racing. Winning's winning, whether you win by an inch or a mile, or you come from ninth on the last lap to win after a series of wrecks. I don't know. Vin Diesel said that, I think. But, man, incredible win, man. Just unbelievable. That's just the craziest finish I've ever seen. And you're able to get the win. Congratulations. And, man, good to have you back. Glad to see you in victory lane. And the floor is yours, man. Who you got to thank?
All right, man. I want to thank Bandit Motorsports for letting me hang out in their chat. Obviously, Goat Locker Racing, they put on this great series, this whole great league. They do a lot of good stuff with vets. Lincoln Tech, Save 22. Who is a Glove Station, the Hidden Wit Brewery. They're the sponsor of the series. Of course, I got to thank Red Bull for being undefeated with my car. I've run that car twice at Old Atlanta, and I've won both races, so I think I might retire
it. There you go. Well, that's your winner for tonight. Jonah Colbert comes from ninth to win it on the last lap, actually the last half lap, and gets it done. Congratulations, Jonah.
Thanks.
Holy cow. Well, a much different perspective. Well, no, we're gonna get to Ryan Pendleton first, who was in the same situation that Jonah was in as Ryan. Pretty crazy race. We'll talk about the finish in a minute, but you started in 28th position and able to come home with that second place after a crazy finish. What was your thoughts about the race leading up to the last little bit?
That race for me was something else because from the get-go, it wouldn't let me jump in and qualify. I had no sound. I don't know what's going on. I could hear my teammates talking, couldn't hear my car. When I would drive by other cars in the race, it'd get like really loud backfiring noise. So if anyone knows what's going on, I have no idea. So that race was weird to me, no spotter. But essentially, I was just trying to save tires most of the race and move up. Had a ton of fun doing that. It's fun getting to race everyone throughout the field. And then, the ending, I had no idea it was the white flag lap, honestly, because I usually let my spotter let me know, and I didn't pay attention to the flag. I thought we had 2 more to go. So I was kind of going through and I saw Jonah in my rear view mirror, just cold trickle going by me. I'm like, I guess we're still going. So I tried to downshift, I think so, and just kept going from there.
Yeah, able to pass your teammate there in the final corner for that second spot. First off, the first 75% of the race was pretty amazing. Long green flag runs with 34 cars. It was pretty awesome. And the one wreck that we did have was just sort of a solo incident, pretty much. And then there at the end, that was just it's like we kind of had the hose all tied up, and the pressure was building, and all just went at the end, and you're able to get by and get through all the mess. What were you thinking? What was going through your mind when it all went down?
Yeah, initially, the lack of situational awareness for me with the sound, I'll use a little excuse, but I thought that was it. When I heard Pat say over the radio, like, hey, they're wrecking in front of us. So I started kind of wowing it up and slowing down. And then I noticed some stuff going around me, and I looked up for the flag on my screen, didn't see it. So I tried to grab another gear and go. Jonah blew by me. I had no idea what position I was in. I had no idea if Jonah was winning. Pat was wrecked, I was like, I don't know. I'm just going to keep going. And I ended up second. So, yeah, sometimes that's how it goes. Bummed out for any of the guys up front, obviously, that,
Yeah.
ended their race like that. But it happens, and I'll take a second place, even if it's handed to me.
Yep, absolutely. Well, I mean, the checkered flag ends the race, so you got to get there.
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah, you did it. Congratulations,
Yeah.
man. Second place
Hey,
finish. You got the
yeah,
win. You got the win on Saturday. Now you get a second place here tonight. It's been a good couple races for you, man. So congratulations. As always, man. Who you got to thank?
yeah. Well, I mean, that's one way to get a Nasty's car into the top three.
That's
That
right.
nasty last lap. So now we got Nasty Sports Bar on this. Cruising Classics as always. Amber and everyone at Jam Printing Promotions. Huge shout out for what they do for Goat Locker on and off the track. Hidden Wit Brewery for coming on and doing this season again for us in this Xfinity series. And then, of course, the man, the myth, the legend, Eddie Smith at V-Speed. Now yourself. I appreciate it, Eddie. Appreciate all you do. We all at Goat Locker appreciate it. And I know everyone that supports us does because they love watching your broadcast and above the yellow line.
All right, there you have it. Second place finisher. And then we're going to get somebody in here that was part of the action. And, well, Pat.
Yeah.
Man, well, I would say for 99% of that race, it was fantastic for you. I mean, just a solid race. You had great pit stops. You kept it up front. And if the race was 99 laps, you would have a pretty good finish. You still had a good finish. You got third.
I still had a good finish.
But you had a shot to win. I think you're really starting to push. You kind of breathe down Christopher Morse Jr.'s neck there towards the end. But let's back it up a little bit. We'll talk about the good stuff. Talk a little bit about the first part of the race. You started kind of back half of the top 10 and had to work your way up through there. And it seemed like that first run, you were really able to make up some ground.
Yeah, I mean, I was struggling in practice. I think a lot of guys were. I mean, just trying to keep the balance between speed and keeping the tires underneath it so it could go in a long run. And then we obviously had some pretty long runs there. So I was trying really hard to balance that in the beginning, and I let a couple guys go, just trying to keep the tires underneath it. Tried something different with the steering ratio tonight as well. It was like a late race change. I didn't practice with it at all, but I'm like, I'm going to try this in the race, and it seemed to help me out there. The car was really good, on the long run, and I just kind of figured out where the car needed to be and then be able to cut the car down and get the runs off the corner, which was where I was really strong there in the long run.
Yeah. Well, and it seemed like as we got past that green flag cycle, which is amazing, by the way, it's great to see that, like I said, 99% of this race was the best that I've seen in the last 3 weeks. And I was really laying it on thick. So I think that was my fault what happened because I really laid it on thick on how much, this is such like Xfinity series to have 34 drivers on the track and still not to discredit the race just based on one lap because it was still an amazing race.
Yes, it was.
But let's talk a little bit about that last lap. Kind of want to hear your perspective of it. The wreck happened probably half a lap before you guys got to it. It all started with a driver getting in the wall, losing the front end. A driver goes down to the inside, the grass, and then there was 4 cars that were trying to watch that wreck, and it all started to kind of manifest in front of you. I think you could see it. Kind of, what was your thoughts? As it was happening.
Oh, I could see it because I queued up to let everybody know there was a big wreck in front of us. So just to make everybody aware, and man, when you see those, we're coming out of 4, and I was definitely had a faster car there than Chris did. And we were chatting after the race too, and he knew it as well. So it was going to come down to a really interesting finish. So I was really just trying to position the car coming out of 4 with a good run. I knew I was much stronger in 1 and 2 than him. But as we were coming out of 4, I just see smoke down the front stretch. And I'm like, oh boy, here we go. And you're trying to pick where those cars are going to go. Are they going to, go up towards the wall? Or are they going to slide back down the track? And so you just make a decision, man, at 180 miles an hour. And you hope it's the right one. And unfortunate for a lot of different guys, man. Chris had an amazing race. bad fast car, great pit strategy. Jake Ellingson the same way. Jeremy Gardner started all the way in the back, battled his way up there to the top 5, top 4. It was going to be a fun little finish there. So, but unfortunately, I thought I cleared through it, and then I got clipped in the rear end, sent to the outside wall, and I hit it flush. And I thought, okay, I'm probably going to be okay here. And I went to throttle the thing back up, and my steering wheel was 90 degrees to the left. So I guess I should be just extremely grateful I limped her home in 3rd place with the steering wheel all the way cocked to the left. So,
Yeah.
But amazing race, man. Yeah, for 99 laps, it was what an amazing race. But, I just feel really bad for guys like Jake Ellingson, Chris Morris, and Jeremy Gardner. We were all up there up front, should have been the top 4 finishing cars. And I'm the only one sitting here getting an interview.
Yeah. Well, it still, I thought, a fantastic race.
Oh, yeah.
Even with that last lap shenanigans, and it was just, it's one of those things where no one person did anything wrong. It was just a lot of things that happened, and it all just domino effect. And yeah, just a bummer to see it kind of end that way. Still a wild finish. You're able to get 3rd, and you've already got the win, so you're locked in. This is going to be a good point stay for you. Everything is good to go on that department. I don't think you got to worry about it anyway. But man, congratulations on 3rd place. Who do you have to thank?
Yeah, well, Hidden Wit Brewery, obviously, I run, I run their, Chevy Camaro here in this series, and brought home the championship last year for them too. So it's always great when I get to sit up here and talk about them and on the podium and all that. But iRacing, I got to give a big shout out to iRacing and all they're doing. So if you've tuned into Goat Talk, you know all the amazing stuff that we're doing with iRacing, and I can't wait for some of this to really start kicking off this year with them. Taylor Kitchen and Above the Yellow Line. I mean, Eddie, it's going to be me and you on Thursday on Above the Yellow Line Media, hanging out on Go Talk. So she and her whole organization have done amazing things for us. But if you haven't checked out her podcast in particular, please go to YouTube, subscribe, all the different places that you can find it, and make sure you follow her on all the social media. Sim Motion, they're the ones that provide, the wheel and pedal sets for us, and they do amazing stuff for us. And they're the ones that provided all the equipment for the mobile simulator as well. So go check them out and let me know. I bet you I can get you a discount code as well. And then, as I said before, Hidden Wit, man. But thanks to you, Eddie, and all that you do as well. Amazing broadcast, I am sure of that. And grateful to bring home this 07 Chevy Camaro in 3rd place.
All right. Well, there you have it. Badger Rabbit comes home in 3rd here after a wild finish. But that's going to do it for us here tonight. Golly. I don't know what to say. I'm just speechless. I got nothing for you. That was the craziest thing I've ever seen. I can't wait to see the talk about it in Discord later. Unbelievable finish, and that's old Atlanta, baby. That's one of them. That's one of them old school Atlanta finishes right there. Come on, man! Just an incredible race, exciting finish. Can't say it wasn't exciting, that's for sure. And congratulations to Jonah Colbert, weathering the storm, getting there to the end, and taking the checkered flag. Well, that's gonna do it for us tonight, man. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I thought I had a much different idea of the way this race was gonna end. Heart goes out. I don't know, but definitely feel bad for Christopher Morse Jr., who I thought played this race about as perfect as you can. Charlie Harcum comes home in 4th, but I know he kind of was expecting to win there, and it just kind of got taken from him. Let's take a look at your results. Pendleton, Dravick, you got Harcum there in 4th. Caustic with a great run to the finish there in 5th position. Daniel Cunningham in 6th. Those guys have been running top 10 all night long. Had a great run. Chance Taylor, he made contact with somebody earlier in the race and actually comes back and finishes in 7th. Levi McCarty in 8th. Jacob Denson in 9th, and George Jewell in that 10th position. In 11th, Alex Cruz with Jamie Marcus in 12th. Christopher Morse Jr., talked about him. He comes home in 13th. Still held on to it. He was missing a hood, front bumper, and everything. Comes home in 13th. Andy Kurtz in 14th. Chris Sawyer in 15th. Mark Cofield in 16th. Jamie Lipke is in 17th. Charles Abert in 18th. 19th, Brandon Wallace and Jeremy Garner at 2nd. Going to be battling with Jacob Ellingson and they wreck on the final lap. He comes home in 20th. 21st is Zach Corner, Timothy Stubblefield in 22nd. 23rd, Zachary Tucker, and then Jacob Ellingson, another one of those drivers, had the lead on the last lap and the contact with the lap car on the backstretch. Coming to the checkered flag, going to come home in 24th. John Anthony going to come home in 25th. Kevin Price in 26th. Mickey Isaac 27th. 28th is, it looks like Frederick Seagraves Jr. in 29th. And you got Mitchell Connolly in 30th. Time and scoring doesn't know what it wants to do at the moment. It's all jacked up. You got Jacob Linke in 31st and 32nd. Gary Cox Jr., Doug Ellingson 33rd, 34th. Cameron Weisenberg. My goodness. I mean, this has been a flustered podcast. See? A flustered broadcast for me tonight. Technical issues, first part of the race, and then that right there, I'm left with nothing. I don't know what to say. But what I can say, thanks to our sponsors, of course, Inwood Brewing Company, Lincoln Tech, Save 22. Save22.net. Go check them out. Just subscribe to the YouTube channel. Show them that GLR love if you can. Of course, you got to thank Jam Printing Promotions for their sponsorship of the Home Award. Got to thank InVets for their sponsorship of the InVets Restart Zone and the InVets in-car camera and all the great partners here at Go Locker. Thank y'all for watching. We appreciate y'all. We will see y'all next week. Thank you to Bradley Cooper, Adam Baker, and everybody along the way at V-Speed that has done a lot of work. We definitely appreciate all the work that everybody does to make these broadcasts look good as they do. I'm Eddie Smith. We'll see y'all next week. Y'all have a good one.